Welcome back. Let's talk to David Paul. He is the MD of VectorVest. Happy New Year to you, David.
You too, Miss.
Right, let's kick off. We've got a number of slides lined up. Let's talk about the UK market in general. This is the composite index. Are we on buy, sell or hold at the moment?
Well, the VectorVest composite is a composite indicator of all the shares that we follow in the London market and on AIM. It's an equally weighted index as opposed to the FTSE 100 being a market cap weighted index. Yep. We believe that reflects the sentiment of the market better than a market cap weighted index. And it's on a buy. Our longest term measure of the London market has turned up. And the short term trend is up as well. So everything's looking good.
So in terms of the traffic lights, they're all pointing...
Well, we should be fully invested in the market at this stage, and I am personally. So.
Okay, understood. So let's move on to a few individual stocks. Let's kick off with Griffin Mining. The green line's your valuation model, isn't it?
So that's correct, yes. And that runs through all the slides I'm going to present this morning. We firmly believe VectorVest, first of all, sorts all of the shares in the London market by value, safety of earnings, and the trend. And the green thick line above the candlestick plot is our valuation, and we favour undervalued shares.
Right.
And my dear grandfather taught me when I was a youngster that the only way to make money in anything was to find the value of something and then pay less for it.
Very good.
And that's the philosophy that I'm applying.
So basically you're combining fundamentals and technicals here?
Yes, of course, yes.
Right.
And it's a style of investing that I personally refer to as value momentum investing. We're looking for value, we're looking for earnings growth, but we want the share to be moving our way, which is a long way from sort of deep value investing where the people will buy into a share and not look at any form of momentum study at all.
One of the first things I learned is the fundamentals tell you what to buy and the technicals tell you when to buy it.
100%.
And that sounds the strategy.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's move on to the next one, Gleeson.
Gleeson just broken out of that ascending triangle, again undervalued.
Which is bullish for a non-technical person, right?
Yeah, that's correct. It's pushing up the page, significantly undervalued, growing earnings strongly, and a very good story, very good narrative. They build starter homes in Midlands and the north of England, and they have a plan to treble the amount of those homes that they're going to deliver over the next couple of years.
Yep.
So the narrative and the numbers from VectorVest tell me that share should move up the page. Only one sort of drawback with Gleeson is that at the moment the spread on the share is very wide.
Right.
Okay, so one has to be careful of that. Okay.
Understood. So try and buy on the bid,
yeah.
not on the offer. Okay, let's move on to the next stock, Taptica. Anything about these?
Well, Taptica, a small IT media company, again significantly undervalued, growing earnings strongly. It pulled back. And made a nice little double bottom at, for those technicians watching, at a Fibonacci level. And at that level, I believe that there was a significant accumulation of the share. And from that period of accumulation, the share started to move up. And VectorVest has placed the share on a buy recommendation over the last day or two. So I think that there's more upside in Taptica.
So something like this security, it's trading around between 400 and 500 pence. Okay, you're suggesting the valuation is 700. So does the model stick with it until it gets to 700?
Well, normally we'll find that our valuation and the price come together at some time in the future. Okay, there's a big buffer there of at least 20% between the valuation and the share price, and we would expect Taptica to get much higher over the next few days and few weeks.
Right, understood. Okay, so let's move on to the next one, Clydesdale Bank. Now, is this a challenger bank, would you say?
Yes, of course, and it's again significantly undervalued by our model. Earnings per share growing very strongly. That's the blue line in the window below the price. It broke up through significant resistance a month or two ago, and since that it's charted a treble bottom, which is a very strong charting pattern, and moving up the page. I don't think there's going to be any fireworks there, but I think the trend is strong, and I think that share will, over the next month or two, move up the page.
A bank on a buy signal. Who would have guessed 2018?
A bank on a buy signal.
Okay, well, let's wrap up with the art of contrarian thinking. Petrofac, obviously.
Well, the share had a hard time, that's for sure. It's still undervalued by our model. and it has built a base, and that base treble bottom at least there, and from that it's broken up through the 26-week high and moving up the page quite strongly, moving up the page on increased volume. I think that the history over the last 2 or 3 years on VectorVest, we have a measurement called relative safety, and relative safety there is low, so Petrofac should only be in fact considered by those people that have got experience in managing risk proactively, that can run for cover if in fact it doesn't do what I think it's going to do. But I think that share has made a significant technical bottom and looks to me as if it wants to move up the page towards our valuation.
Right. Okay. So final thoughts for 2018. Did you have a good year on the system in 2017?
We had a great year in 2017. Personally, most of my own returns were made in the first 6 or 7 months of the year. Then it went a little bit flat in the summertime, as our composite shows. Over the last week or two, when I was last on here, I talked about Games Workshop, and that's up 20 or 30%. I talked about Emu Pharma, and it's up 70% since we talked about it. And plus 500 that I spoke about, in fact, to Zach when he was here. Zach raised his eyebrows when I mentioned it.
And I'm still raising my eyebrows.
And that share has flown through the roof over the last day or two on very, very good numbers, which are in City AM this morning, I see. So we've had a very good run, yes. Very good run indeed.
Long may it continue. David,
Quite
thank
so.
you very much indeed.
Thank you, Miss.